Okay, we are live here in Puerto Rico. You guys know who I am, Hector Beauchamp with Latino Sports. And this is the first time you guys are seeing Julio Pavon, the founder of Latino Sports, the man behind everything that I'm doing here in Puerto Rico that we do during the baseball season. Julio, before we go out and bring in any guests to join us into the conversation, talk to the chat, talk to the community, give them just a brief little summary of who you are and what we're doing here today.
It's very difficult to be brief with the history that we have, but we'll try to do it because this is a different environment. This is here in Guayanilla, in a hotel called Costa Brava, ¿verdad?
Mm-hmm.
And the Puerto Rico Challenge is the second year that, for the first time, Division I schools, baseball programs have been invited by George Medina, who runs Goji Sports. He had a great idea, which is how many teams in Division I would rather be practicing here at least for a week rather than in a gym in the Northeast.
Where it's cold back in New York. In New York City, if you're in New York City right now, it's like 30 degrees over there. Over here in Puerto Rico, sit like a nice 75, 80 degrees. Let me shout out the chat before we continue. My good friend Jacob Petruzzi is in the building. Jacob, how you doing, my friend? I hope all is well. Salute, salute, salute. Daniel Burry Sports Highlights is here. Daniel, I hope all is well. And over on Instagram, we got Bad Kate, we got Double Jedger, M7 is in the building. How you doing? Like always, guys, we got to be able to pay our bills. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're visiting latinosports.com, and all the links to everything that we do is in the description of this video. So, without further ado, you want to get the first guest, Julio?
Yes, we're going to have a lot of interesting guests. We're here at the hotel. We're going to be pulling them in like fishing. Throw the thing out there and see. And you know what? The first one we're going to bring in, we reeled in a freaking big one, bro.
I know. Very random, too.
Very random. The athletic director of Manhattan College, Irma Garcia.
Yes.
But in case anybody didn't know, Irma Garcia is the first athletic director Latina in the United States.
Yeah.
Right. So I want to talk to her about that, but I also want to talk to her about Manhattan College, So I'm going to bring her up right now.
Yeah. And while Julio is doing that, I'll shout out everybody that's here. My guy, Maddie, is in the building. Maddie, I hope. Listen, Maddie, I'm trying to enjoy as best as I can, Maddie, but we're here. Estamos in Puerto Rico. It's a nice, crispy 76, 80 degrees. And like we said, we're going to be here this entire weekend. We're going to be bringing different people in on the conversation. Irma, I'll slide over for you.
Very nice to see you.
Very nice to see you and meet you as well. My name is Hector, un placer.
Igualmente.
Nice to meet you. Folks in the chat, we have a special guest with us.
Oh, do you mind? With
No, of course. You gotta have that hat on.
Bad Bunny.
You're live. Everybody loves this.
But live on YouTube right now. Irma, just give a quick introduction of who you are, a little bit about yourself to the people that are in the chat right now.
So I'm Irma Garcia. I'm the Director of Athletics over at Manhattan University. I've been in athletics for over 30 years. And on 2005, I became the first Latina to be Director of Athletics.
Oh, that means
in Division I, so I carry that really well.
D1.
Mommy's from Mayagüez, Papi's from Santurce, and my
True
cousin
Boricua.
here.
True Boricua.
Yeah, New Yorican.
Uh-huh.
But my cousin's here with me, and he lives in el pueblo de Florida.
Okay.
So
not to be confused with the state
Florida.
of Florida, okay?
Yeah,
Florida.
no.
Where
he corrects me all the time. It's Florida.
Yeah.
Where who's there from? Going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Oh, Carlos Beltran?
Carlos
Beltran. Absolutely. Folks in the chat, it's going to be an amazing conversation. If you guys can, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. But Irma, you touched on something. You said back in 2005 is when you got the job, right, initially. Yeah. Representation matters.
Absolutely.
And we've seen that over the past 7 days with Bad Bunny being at the Super Bowl and the prideness and pride that Boricuas have. Can you just speak on that when it comes to representation, especially at the collegiate level, where there's not that many of us at a level of leadership that can help push us along the way?
I talk about all the time, community is big for me. And we're Puerto Ricans are known for community. That's who we are.
Correct.
And so once I got this status, I said to myself, I have to it can't end with me. It can't be I'm the only Puerto Rican or the only Hispanic that's going to be carrying this way. So it's my job to take young kids and teach them about the good things that we're able to do as Boricuas. And so I really believe like what Bad Bunny did, first of all.
Shout out to Bad Bunny all the time.
Bunny, I actually bought green sneakers. Even though it's Manhattan colored, but
They're green. I promise you, they're green.
That's why they're hat. And hope that maybe he sees me and says, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna say hello to her."
There you go. There you go.
But there's something about Puerto Rico. There's something about family that comes with it, and the importance of really passing and moving it forward. That is our job, and what we're doing here. Having a tournament and getting more so that people from Puerto Rico get to see the good things that are happening in the Bronx. It's just part of who we are. That's all I know. The importance of being who we are and making sure that we can pass that anything that we do well, that the kids can see that, so they can fill in our spots.
Yeah.
And you're Boricua, New Yorkian, and then you hear that there's going to be a tournament, that there's a possibility this is opening for your university to be able to come to Puerto Rico, to your homeland.
Absolutely.
How did you hear when you first heard that? I mean, what was that all about?
We have a young man that that was recruited. Actually, George has been fantastic.
You're talking about Jorge Medina?
Yeah, Jorge Medina. But he came to us and brought this young man from Puerto Rico. His father owns, or he works here as a manager here. And he plays for us. And he was very quiet, spoke very little English. And 2 years later, he's our starting second baseman.
Oh, so we'll be seeing him?
Oh, yeah. And he is incredible.
What's his name?
Goody. So you'll get to see him tomorrow. And the thing is that he now is a great ambassador for Puerto Rico.
Oh, yeah?
And goes out and recruits kids for us.
From here? From the
island to come over to Manhattan.
Wow.
And, Manhattan's a great place. Great academics, engineers. We have, business, which what we do in Manhattan, we start them as a freshman and then carry them all the way to senior year. So they'll get internships. They get to meet so many people the Jaspers who worked. And we have a lot of Jaspers that are Boricuas too.
Let me ask you a question though. You're athletic director.
Yeah.
Not baseball director. So
No.
So it's all sports?
Yes.
In the college?
Yeah, of course.
Yo, lady, man, I gotta give him the applause for that. Man. Yo,
Guys,
like,
drop
she's
the
no
W's
joke.
in the
She's
chat.
no joke, bro. She's for real.
W's in the chat for Irma, and it feels like, talking about Bad Bunny and everything that's going on.
Yeah.
It's like there was a match that was lit, and it feels like this is a new renaissance, a new era, not just for Boricuas, but like for the entire diaspora de Latinos in the world.
He have messages,
Yeah.
and everything he does there's a message. It's all about love, right? Being kind to each other and
Things that you've always felt, I've always felt.
That's what
been in our
family is, right?
Yeah.
And somebody saying it in Spanish,
Yeah.
in corporate America.
Yeah. And the great thing is that everywhere you go and you're hearing Bad Bunny, but everybody's talking about love again.
Yes.
Caring about each
Yes.
other. It's that care factor that we all supposed to have. But who does it better than the Boricuas? That's who I'm telling you. This is like the island of love. I always see
And
it
you know
that
what
way.
I love about it the most? That with all the backlash, what it's showing is that this is the reality, but the backlash, his response is all about love.
Yeah.
When he comes out and he talks about love overcomes hate, isn't that appropriate time to say that?
It's incredible.
And honestly, everybody that's in the chat, you guys are watching us right here, but if you guys can see the people that are in the crowd that are wearing the same hat as Irma is wearing, and the amount of people that are showing that pride when it comes to this island.
And they're not Puerto Rican.
And they're not Puerto Rican as well.
A lot of them are not.
And we're teaching them how to speak some Spanish. So
Excellent.
Not
bad, because it's the second most spoken language in the world, right?
Julio, give me a second. I want to shout out the chat. We got a bunch of people that are in the building. If you guys have any questions for Irma, please drop them in the chat. We got a few people that's here. NYC Pinstripe Club, how are you doing? Future is in the building. Daniel is here. Daniel, how you doing? Of course, our good friend El Delulu Yankee fan. Jesse is here. We love to support female content creators that are out there. Jessie is an amazing content creator from Canada. Make sure you guys are supporting her and giving her all the flowers and all the bendy shows that are in the chat right now. Go ahead.
The dots that you see up there, those are all the live feeds we have right now.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So right now we're broadcasting on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitch. We're on 4 different Twitter accounts. So if you're finding us, wherever you're finding us, jump on over to YouTube and make sure you're subscribing to Latino Sports on YouTube. Link to that video is in the description of this. Julio, I'm gonna toss it over to you to set the stage. About this whole weekend. With Irma, I'm gonna go grab me some water. I'll be right back. Just give me 2 seconds. I want to grab some photos of the game.
Well, let me tell you, this weekend, this is also all a very interesting, event, because having Division I schools come to Puerto Rico is like very, what I say, it's very unique.
Yeah.
Right? So when I heard about this for the first time last year from George, because I live in Cabo Rojo, I'm one of those New Yorkers,
Cabo Rojo.
69 years in the Bronx, still have a house there. But my wife, if you met, she basically said, I love you. But after she discovered Puerto Rico, being from Mayagüez, right, and she came down like 15 years ago when we first came down, she says, yo, we need to find a way to come stay here. And she loves it here. So we've been staying here a lot. And then when I hear that George is doing this, last year I came to a game. I liked it so much, but what I noticed was it needed more publicity. It needed more people to know that what this is taking place. One of the coaches said, I forgot which one it was last year, I quoted him. He said, if you tell me about practicing in the Northeast in February in the cold and practicing, and when I came here, I said, I would have been here 2 weeks earlier if I would have known this. Have my kids practice out in the sun.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is such an incredible experience, bringing it to Puerto Rico.
Incredible opportunity.
And one of the things that I see, and there's a gap here, and I think you might understand this. Recently, we've heard some situations about the World Baseball Classic, and some of our big stars can't play for whatever reason, insurance purposes, injury, or whatever. So there was a big controversy when Lindor, Correa, Baez, Diaz are stars.
Yeah.
So the Federation baseball director here says, being any stars, why should we play? I said, but wait a minute, we're hosting the games, we got to play.
Yeah.
So we decided to look into this, and one of the problems that we have is there's not enough Puerto Rican players in Major League Baseball. If the Dominican Republic right now, with 68 something players in the big leagues, if Vladimir Guerrero can't play, we ain't gonna play. It's okay.
Yeah.
You got Fernando Tatis, you got Manny Machado, you got so many others that can take a position.
Yeah.
But with the Puerto Ricans, there's only like 20 something players in the major leagues. And
But why isn't it growing?
And the problem is that this is where you guys come in. I see that gap because there's a lot of talent here, but it's staying dormant. They don't have access to be able to go to schools like Manhattan College and others. And to see you here in Puerto Rico, it means a lot. That there's a possibility that we can do something to get some of these kids here to realize you got an opportunity here. Yeah. You got an opportunity here, and you see it because you're open to it.
Yeah, of course I'm open to it. I think it's for if you don't take the opportunity to think about opportunities like what we're doing here, like showing you about Manhattan University and what we can offer you, you're crazy.
Yeah.
So what does the kid need to get to your school?
Look, we have great merit.
You get it in all the different.
Yeah,
I mean, volleyball.
We have volleyball.
Basketball.
Volleyball is very big in Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
very
especially
big.
women.
Yes, men are starting to get up there because now they have varsity men now, so that's pretty good. But we have swimming and water polo. Just the fact that there's opportunities that you have to leave the island sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to leave to come back.
Yes.
And sometimes you learn more, right? You end
can
up
see it better from afar.
Yeah, and what we do at Manhattan is that we start them as a freshman. We get them out into the city. Right? What do you want to be? You want to be a financial person? Let me connect you with some alums. You want to be an engineer? Let me connect you with some alums. You want to be a police officer? Same thing. Or a teacher? All those things. But we start them when they're freshmen, hoping that they get at least 4 touches by the time they're seniors. Then they have a sense of who they want to be. What we do different from other institutions is that we teach them how to walk the room, like how to be a presence, how to look at somebody in the eyes and talk to them and have conversation and engagement. Engagement is huge. Yeah. I've been here, a day only from Nueva York, and everybody here looks at you in the eyes.
Yes.
Yes.
It's incredible.
And that's something that you hardly get back in the States.
You don't see it in the States.
Yeah. If I can real quick, let me shout out the chat because we have a comment in here. Tough Dog, who is watching us on Twitch, who says, I'm a big fan of the Puerto Rican culture and I love their music and their food, and the people are so nice in Puerto Rico. I really want to go there and visit. Well, Tough Dog, you got to come down here.
You got to come.
Vengan con nosotros whenever you get a chance. But let us know, where are you writing from, where you're from in the States, and anybody else that's chiming in. If you have any questions for Irma, let us know. Put it in the comment section down below. Julio touched it a little bit. I want to ask you this before we let you enjoy the rest of your night. We've seen not only with like everything that's going on with the Latinos, but women's sports, the WNBA, the Revive League, the women, they're here. And it's about time that other organization, men in particularly, start recognizing. Asia Wilson, who is one of the best, if not the best, women basketball player on the face of the earth. She is the LeBron James of the WNBA.
Absolutely.
You know, so Sabrina Ionescu as well with the New York Liberty.
Yeah.
I cover Liberty for Latino sports, and I'll tell you this: as much as I'm a Knicks fan, I'd rather watch the Liberty every day of the week. I hate saying that. Don't beat me up.
I
Don't hit him on that.
I'm an Aces fan because the coach is one of my best friends.
Where the Aces from?
Vegas.
Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas.
And Becky
Vegas.
Hammond is an incredible
I love
coach.
Becky Hammond as well.
Incredible coach. But when she went into the W, she changed the game.
Yeah.
So a lot of coaches are going in there, making it better for women to play. So when, in college, you play 30 seconds, you do, move the ball out. But at the W, you play in seconds. Like, 10 seconds, you better do this. 2 seconds, you got this. That's why she's so successful.
Yeah.
And more coaches are starting to pick up the way she does. Asia Wilson, in person, buena gente. Not only is buena gente, a woman of faith, but she works at her game every day. And that, if I could say that to kids today, you want to play a sport, you got to work at it. Just it can't just be talent.
Yeah.
You got to put some work into it. And what better than the W, right? I mean, she is a perfect example of how to work and get better every year. She gets better every year. It's impossible, right?
Yeah.
But she does.
Yeah.
That's why she's the best.
When you speak on Becky Hammond, right, and I know a lot of people, they throw like the Greg Popovich. Oh, she comes from the Greg Popovich tree of coaching, which is something that is of notoriety in the NBA. But even if she wasn't a part of that Greg Popovich coach tree, I still believe Becky Hammond would still be as great as she is as a head coach. Yes, being around Popovich, that NBA coach, if you want to have that sprinkle into whatever. But
She's
Becky
unique.
Hammond is still a legend.
She's a legend. She's her own person. She learned a lot from Pop, for sure. But it's a shame that the NBA doesn't hire her.
Yeah.
Because she would be a fantastic NBA coach.
I want her as the coach of the Knicks.
Yeah.
I know I can't. I'm on record. I'm on record. I got several podcasts when I was campaigning for her to be the head coach for the Knicks.
But you know what? She's doing a great job there. And not only that, she's teaching the game the right way.
Yeah.
Right. So I think she's in the right place. And I think that there's going to be more teams. Like now you're starting to see some college teams starting to play the way you're supposed to play and make it fun, right? Move it up and down and stuff. But she's awesome.
And now, not only with the WNBA,
we need more Hispanic women in the W. Though.
That has been growing. It has been growing in the W.
Sonia Centron. Oh my goodness, she is.
Who is this?
Sonia Centron, and she is one of my favorite players.
Serious.
Oh yeah, she's with the national. She's Hispanic, but I don't know what.
I'll find it for you 1 second. But also too, when you're talking about Puerto Rican love, Natasha Cloud from the New York Liberty, her wife is Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
So Natasha Cloud, I talked to her last year at one of the last games of the season for the Liberty. She's an adopted Puerto Rican in my book, right? So shout out to Titi Cloud. Shout out to Natasha Cloud. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
But Irma,
Is she?
Go ahead.
Is she Spaniard? I think maybe she's from Spain.
All right. What's the last name again?
Centron. CINTRON. She's probably saying, it says it right there.
She is of West Africa, but they said that Senegalese, family roots, Cape Verde.
Well, she's from. No,
She was born in White
Spain.
Plains. No, she was born in White Plains. She is Latina because I remember we covered that at the end of the season. Yeah, so she is Latina. One of her family members is Puerto Rican. Yeah.
She can play.
So, Iman, let me tell you something. I mean, how does someone get to know more about? I'm a kid here in Puerto Rico, whatever sport. I just saw this. I got turned on. The first Latina in the United States, AD from Division I. That turns me on a little bit even more. She's wearing the Bad Bunny hat. That's even more. Now, I want to know more about Manhattan College. How do I know more about Manhattan College?
Listen, you can email me. You can go on Jasper website, which is go Jasper's, or you can go to manhattanuniversity.edu and learn more about it. But if you want information, just reach out to me and I'll send it. I will send you any information you need to know. But we should. That's what we do. At least that's what we do at Manhattan. That's why we're here with the baseball team. We got all my staff is here to support the baseball team.
That's excellent. And, thank you so much, man, because Puerto Rico needs this. I think that, we're going to continue, and that's why we're here for the first time now, broadcasting this and doing this, is that more people need to know this, and especially a lot of kids from here in Puerto Rico need to know that they're, colleges, universities like yours who are open arms.
But I'm going to say something. This is the one thing that and me too. When I was growing up, we weren't expected to ask questions, right? So you're afraid to ask.
Yeah.
But nowadays, we want you to ask. Even the parents now, right? They saying, ask a question. Just try to find out. Leave yourself open to finding out more information about a wonderful school, a gem. It's a small school, but it's beautiful. I mean, it's just one of the best places you can be. You can get a great education. You can play any sport there. We got great clubs if you don't want to play sport. But, you got to explore. Get out there and explore and find out more.
Now that we know that there's a Boricua, I'm from the Bronx.
Listen,
if I'm up there, don't ever, I might just want to pop into your office.
Absolutely,
and say,
anytime.
¿Tiene cafecito por ahí?
Sí, seguro que sí.
Te traigo un bizcochito.
Sí, seguro que sí.
I'm putting you on the spot. We're live right now. Latino Sports. We're trying to build something when it comes to with colleges reaching out to bring in interns, right? Because I'm somebody that I grew up wanting to be in sports media, right? I had no outlet. I had no place to go. Everything that you see with the podcast and everything, I had to teach myself. Shout out to my girlfriend because she's a lot smarter than I am. She taught me how to do a lot of this production stuff. But if it wasn't for YouTube University, I wouldn't be able to do this. But open the door and reaching out and helping young Latinos. That's something that's very important.
That is what my job is, not just to be the AD, but to pass it forward, pass it to the young generation. I want people to be better than me, or do more than what I'm doing. It's our job to do that.
Yes,
absolutely.
I
want you to know that Latino sports, Bronx-based, right? Throughout the country, we have the oldest, most prestigious award given to Latino baseball players.
It's amazing.
36 years, se cumple este año. And it started because of a Puerto Rican in 1989. His name was Ruben Sierra. He used to play for the Texas Rangers. Black Puerto Rican, high school dropout from los caseríos of Santurce, tough neighborhood.
My dad
had a relative who was a dope fiend, which a lot of us who live in the South Bronx and in communities like that can recognize that dynamics. And he was considered to be one of the best players in 1989, and several publications thought that he was going to be the most valuable player. That year, they gave it to Robin Yount.
Wow.
So maybe many here in Puerto Rico felt like, wow, maybe because he didn't speak English, maybe because he's black, maybe because he plays for a team that doesn't get that much publicity. But I decided as an activist in the South Bronx, he should get an award. Se me inventé, and I decided that when he comes to Yankee Stadium,
that's it.
If you're in American League, you gotta come to Yankee Stadium.
Absolutely.
If you're international, you gotta come to the Shea Stadium. So we decided to just give him an award. That award has become the most prestigious award 36 years later.
It's amazing. It's wonderful.
There are a lot of things that are happening that we want to be able to recognize,
continue to recognize.
Not only that, but in colleges. So if there's things that are happening in
however
your college,
we can help,
let us know.
However we can help promote, your sports.
We
just send out information to us.
Okay.
We will help you put it up.
We're gonna
I'll get in contact
actually, your
with
wife
you.
and I exchange numbers.
I'll get your information as well, and I'll definitely be on. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you
let's
so
hear
much.
it.
So much.
Irma, dime quién tú eres.
Irma Garcia.
Dile de dónde.
From Puerto Rico, no, New Yorican.
And
All three
Manhattan
New Yorkers right
University.
first Latina in the United States, AD. So hear that one more time for Irma.
Thank you.
now.
Gracias.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you. Yeah.
We're going to take a break and we'll be back with the next one.
Well, I'll be right here. Our studio, thank you so much. Our studio goes out there and gets the next guest. Folks in the chat, like always, if you guys can, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It's your guy, Hector Bochan from Latino Sports TV and also Uptown Sports TV. Shout out to my guy, John. NYC Pinstripe Club is in the building. Que lo que, mi manito, como tu ta? Tough Dog says, overview. Sonia Centron, WNBA star for the Washington Mystics, is in a long-term relationship with Dallas Cowboys linebacker LeFleur. I always get his name messed up at the end, but I appreciate you, my guy. Guys in the chat, let us know, where are you guys watching us from? If you're in New York City, you're in New York City. If you're outside of New York City, let me know. Put it down in the comment section down below. As Julio is trying to get us another interview. We have been live so far for 25 minutes. Julio, we got another one? Okay. I'm just waiting for you. To bring the next one. Julio's running around. Let me show you guys. So we are in the hotel lobby in Puerto Rico. It is a beautiful hotel lobby. We are outside of Ponce at the moment. BK Brooklyn is in the building. How you doing, my guy? Salute. I remember Roberto from earlier. You don't got to write his name down.
Don't make it too long. I might fall asleep.
Real fast. Roberto. ¿Cómo está? Un placer. Oh, folks in the chat, we got another guest right now. Roberto, let the people know your first, last name. Give them your title. What are you doing here? And how's the weather treating you?
The weather is great. My name is Roberto Alonso. I'm from West Palm Beach, Florida. A good friend of George Medina, who has allowed me and our other close friends to come to Puerto Rico and assist him with the second year of the Puerto Rican Challenge. It's an honor to be here and help represent the Puerto Rico Challenge and help George Medina grow this for the island. Because I believe as a New York Rican who...
Another one. See, we just had Irma Garcia. Now we got...
I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. I got sick my junior year, had to come live in Puerto Rico. I graduated from high school in Puerto Rico. Went back to New York. Was able to find a scholarship at Brooklyn College. Played 3 years, signed. Came back after I got released. Played independent. Continued, got my education. I retired 35 years as a special ed teacher. And I come back every year to Puerto Rico to assist George in this. And I think this is just how we say the cap of the litter, because what he's creating for the island is one thing, but what he's creating for Division I baseball and for those kids that never would come to Puerto Rico and experience this culture.
Today I met one of the parents, the wife of one of the coaches who was speaking at the forum today, and I asked her. She said, "This is the first time she's come to Puerto Rico." She says, "What do you think of Puerto Rico?" She says, "I love it." So this is an incredible opportunity for people.
I was speaking to two gentlemen out there, and the man said, "This is my first time." He's from Alabama. My kid is here. He goes, "I wouldn't be here, and I don't want to leave." And he's here 3 days.
Sounds like my wife. You don't want to leave.
It's a culture that these kids are going to take back and going to remember. These 5 days or 7 days that they're here, 4 or 5 days of baseball is great. It's great to play baseball. But what they're going to take back is a life-learned experience.
A different new place that they would have never probably seen.
Well, it's not even that, because if being an ex-baseball player, a coach, whatever, baseball is not an individual sport.
No.
Football players, they play once a week. They practice and play Saturdays in college. Practice and play Sundays in pros. Baseball, you practice and play every day.
Yeah.
So you build a bond between 40 guys that become your brothers for the next 10, 15, 20 years. I still speak to my college guys from 84. We communicate. Still speak with friends that I grew up from when I was 13, 14 years old. And what these kids are going to get here, not only playing baseball here, meeting different people in the hotel, in the restaurants where they go eat with the family, walk around the streets and the beaches and the park.
The ones that right now in Ponce, and today in Ponce there's having Carnaval. So I heard one of the coaches said that, yo, I ain't going back to the hotel. We all in the plaza.
and he was like, he goes,
so whatever team they're playing against tomorrow, they might have.
They may have an advantage.
Yeah. And it's that's something that these kids and coaches will never ever get to experience again.
Type of education. It's a different type of education.
With this being the second year with George, right, being the PR
Right.
challenge, you have to take a step back and realize how big is this event, not only for the kids and getting the kids involved and bringing eyes to Puerto Rico, but at the same time, the March Madness tournament, they had their first and second year. They started somewhere, right? All these Rose Bowls, they started somewhere, and after 50 years, they're still around. And that's what the PR challenge is right now, or leading up to. If you get what I'm saying.
If you turn back the clock, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Exactly. That's right.
And when you build a house, you have to build a foundation. Mm-hmm. Once the foundation is strong, then the house gets laid 1, 2, 3. That's what George is doing. And to go back to George, I've talked to George. I met George real close because me and his relatives grew up playing with each other. And I met him through Papa Lozada. And my buddy who couldn't make it, Steve St. Hill, and we talked about it. But I met George a year before he thought about it. We met at a perfect game when his kid was 16 years old. I drove from my house to West Palm Beach 4 miles to meet him with my friend that was staying there. So we were talking. And we sat down and we were laughing. And he goes, I'm thinking about doing this. It just bothers me because it's here. Mm-hmm. And the way he was acting, it's like taking a kid, putting him in a candy store.
Yeah.
I want candy, but I don't know what kind of candy. And I watch his aspiration, his enthusiasm, the way he talked about this.
And he said from the heart.
And he said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. A year later, he called me, he goes, we're off and running. We might succeed or we might fail. I said, you never fail as an educator
if you try.
Because if you try and you don't succeed, it's a learning experience.
Yep.
So now we go back what we need to change, what we need to do.
No hay mal que por bien no venga.
Exactly.
So let me tell you, what role do you play? What do you do here?
Last year, I was just helping George because of my experience as a college coach and an educator. This year, we came early to help him with the inventory, help him with talking to people. Like he told me, I'm going to, tomorrow I'm doing the co-partner with the young man, Esteban, announcing tomorrow's 1 o'clock game.
Okay.
So you're going to be announcing the game?
I'm going to be with him in the booth. And then he asked me to, George is a man that's going crazy and everybody's calling him. So he asked me to, because of my experience, to help the overseas take the input from the umpires that they need instead of him taking 5 to 10 different phone calls. So I told him, you call me. If it's important, I'm going to let him know.
Because one thing that people might not know is what goes behind the scenes. You just mentioned umpires. So you got to bring umpires here. You got to bring the coaches here. You got to bring this is a humongous operation.
This ain't something that you can go to the bank and take out $1,000 to put this in. This takes years of work, years of getting the right sponsors, getting people to believe in your dream. Because, I was in church the other day and the guy put up the thing about Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Believe in your dream and you will succeed it. You will accomplish it.
Right.
Dreams are not dreams. Dreams are there for you to push through and succeed. George had this dream not 3 years ago. He must have been thinking about this 5 years ago to do something different.
Right.
And look where we're at now. Look, we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. But as of today, what he has created is a foundation that he's going to be able to build more and more. He's getting phone calls for schools to come in up to 2029 when he didn't know he was going to have 18s in 2025.
You guys did it.
And it blew up. And by us, let me tell you something. As we all know, when you start a business, the first year you lose money, because you're putting into it.
Sweat equity.
You're gonna have sweat equity, exactly. You're gonna not everything's gonna be perfect. Because like I told George when we talked about it, I said, if you go ahead and believe that somebody says everything was perfect, there's a problem.
That's why when in Spanish, many of my Latin American friends, especially my Dominican friends, no hay problema. I say no. When you tell me no hay problema,
No, hay problema. Hay problema because that means
hey, no part of my Dominican boys.
No,
you say that a lot.
Yeah. Dominican is our family, is our brothers. But when somebody says that, there is a problem because we want to know the problems. We're going to have problems.
We learn from that
because that's how we, it's like I tell kids in the game of baseball. And when I coach them, I'm not here to rebuild the motor. Like we're older than you. So when we had the old cars with the carburetors and their carburetors, the cars were jumping, you take a screwdriver and you slightly adjust it until you get it right. That's what we're doing. That's what George is doing. He's building something that every year we have to adjust. And once it's running, because I told him in 3 to 5 years, it's going to be like when you go to the bathroom, open the faucet, it's running water.
Now, let me ask you something. From your side, this has been a great success. You see the number of schools that are coming here. You got some Division I schools. We just spoke to the first Latina AD in the United States.
In Manhattan College.
Manhattan College from the Bronx, right? So on that side, it seems to be like a big success. Now, from the Puerto Rico side, what do you see? Do you see that you got the support? Do you think you need more support?
Well,
do you think that you need more awareness? How have you been received? Not just from the people, but I'm talking about those who might be able to give you more support. More.
Well, to me, I mean, I'm in New York, and I'm gonna be honest.
No, don't be honest.
As we all are.
Because on the real stuff about it, there's been some people that's given him support. That the mayor of Ponce, if I can build a queen's chair, she's behind, she's supporting.
Excellent. So the shout outs, felicidades a la alcaldesa de Ponce, porque aparentemente ha ayudado bastante. She's helped a lot for this particular situation.
Ella le dijo a Georgie, lo que tú necesitas me dejas saber.
Whatever you need, George, you got it for the mayor of Ponce.
Okay.
Shout out to the mayor of Ponce.
Now, as the island, as the governor's island, as the sports recreation department,
which is more like on an island-wide side. We would say in New York, national.
Should be supporting a Puerto Rican that's trying to bring baseball, Division I college baseball, to start their season in your backyard, and you're not opening up the doors to support him.
So you don't see there's no doors opening.
There's a lot of promises that are not being fulfilled completely.
Sounds a lot like what we've been hearing.
Okay, and me and my wife was talking about this earlier. We as Puerto Ricans, if we cannot support our own, who's going to?
Exactly.
And then people turn around and say, "Oh, look what they did, this and that." Don't say that. Like I used to tell my kids, take your partner, take your buddy, and get behind him and push him from the rear up and make sure he succeeds. Okay? That's what they need to be doing here for him, because if you're part of his program, of this program, and you're the government and you're helping, your name goes on there as his backup.
That's right. There should be a lot more support.
Your name gets on there. And if he succeeds, Papa, you're going to succeed.
Yeah.
You're going to succeed.
Absolutely.
I come here 6 times a day. I'm going to succeed because we're part of this.
The 3 generations after us.
And the coaches, a lot of these coaches are going to retire. You don't think that they're going to go, man, that was a great time in Puerto Rico last year. They're calling George up. When can I come back? Coach O'Connor that was here from Virginia is at Mississippi State. He called George. He goes, I'll see you there next week. And we laughed. We already have the 18s. He goes, I'm coming. So 27. And, yo, you're talking about we call like the godfather of Division I baseball. He's you talk about Connor, you're like, wow.
What school is this again?
Virginia.
Wow, yeah.
University of Virginia. So we have to understand that he's not creating something like the Puerto Ricans would say, oh, he's trying to put money in his pocket and our land.
Oh, come on.
He's trying to put money in the island people.
Well, listen, so that you can understand how the idiosyncrasies of an island that's been a colony for so long. Some people call it in a psychological term, a colonized mentality. I mean, when you got a guy like Bad Bunny who brought over close to $800 million to this island, and you still got people in the Senate of Puerto Rico who refuse to do a day of recognition for him because they say that they don't agree with some of the stuff that he's even spoken bad about Puerto Rico. And these are people in the Senate. So you can imagine they just don't have an understanding of what's really going on in this island.
You bring up what Bad Bunny did in Puerto Rico in, 30, 40 days?
Yeah.
Now you go back to the hundreds of artists that came here that are well known, that I love them to death.
So that's right.
And here comes a kid
Who was bagging
groceries 10 years ago.
Bagging groceries.
10 years ago, bagging groceries, and had an idea like George, never quit like George, believed like George, and kept pushing and kept pushing.
It sounds interesting. It's almost like you do Latino sports.
No, but yeah, I always say, it's about opportunity, right? The next MIT grad student could be coming out of O Block in Chicago, but he don't have an avenue to explore, to get his creativity out there, right? They could be kids in La Perra that could be the next Bad Bunny, but if there's no opportunities, or the next Lindor or Correa,
but
if there's no PR challenge.
And that's true. And I tell my kids, you know what? Start to learn how to create your opportunity, so they can't say no. When you walk through a door, be prepared. George walked through a door and he had his book ready. Here we go. This is the plan. This is the business plan. This is what we need help with. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to get this. If you don't want to help me, I'm going to get the people. I'm going to succeed. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to work hard. And he has. I mean, you think about it. From last year, he didn't go back home to his family till 6 weeks later because he had to do all the administrative part, clean everything up. So here's a man that took 2.5 months from being away from his family to create something that he wanted from his heart, from a business part, from his heart. This is for my kid. This is for his kids. Because I see this. Baby, you know how you light a bottle rocket on 4th of July?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because it's going to happen.
And this is why we have to tell the truth. On the other side, what George has been doing, bringing in these schools, and the number of schools are so interested because they see what's happening and the value in Puerto Rico, that's awesome. But there has to be more support from here. And you heard it from the man. It's not at the local level. The mayor of Ponce has been great.
She's been
the
great.
Local people have been great. This hotel, the owner, he's been great. But let me tell you
Mike
something.
Saba with Costa Mahia.
But the bottom line is, you have an island-wide organization, Department of Tourism, the Sports Department, Recreación y Deporte, Departamento de Educación. So, you guys need to wake up out there. Tienen que despertarse y darle apoyo a este tipo de trabajo que están haciendo esta gente, porque este es el futuro. Si Puerto Rico no pudo casi cualificar mucho con los buenos jugadores, we couldn't qualify that much because, Lindor can't play, Baez couldn't play, Correa couldn't play. The people were criticizing. We wrote in an article on Latino Sports. Listen, you can blame all the stuff about what you think is happening behind the scenes and why they're keeping Puerto Rico up. But the bottom line is, we only got 20-some players in the major leagues. So in the Dominican Republic, if Vladimir can play, you know what? You got Tatis, you got Machado, you got a whole bunch of players. But in Puerto Rico, so what's the main problem? The people in the top levels of the government here, we don't have enough Puerto Rican players in the major leagues. Here's an organization that's bringing in Division I schools that kids here should be aware of so they can get exposed to them, because if they get exposed and they get recruited and they get scholarships to go to Division I schools, we have a better chance of getting more Puerto Ricans into the major leagues. So what you guys are doing is a great job, and we want to thank you for what you guys are doing.
But let me go back to what you're saying about the major leagues. As a coach, as an educator, we recruit kids out of the island because I helped a lot of kids in the last 10 years from Puerto Rico go to schools. And I tell them, our dream as ball players is to get up there to the MLB. But my dream as an educator is to take a kid from the island who might not have the avenue, who's a good student, a good player, go to a school, spend 4 years of playing Division 1, 2, 3 NAIA baseball,
right,
and graduated with a degree that he can come home and start his own business.
Exactly.
So you didn't make it to the MLB, but you know what? You got an education,
which is worth $100,000, and you got it for pennies.
Roberto, before we let you get out of here, because he has to rest his vocal cords, because he's going to call in one of the games mañana.
Yes.
If there's a small business, or if there's anybody that could want to donate for next year, or to get on board to help the PR challenge, how can they do that? Is there an email? Is there a way to contact George?
Well, right now I forgot George's email, but George Medina, you can get a hold of el alcalde de Ponce. She has his.
Oh, but yeah, just reach out to Latino Sports.
Yeah,
Latino Sports. But let me explain something to you. Please support the process, because this you want to be part of. You want to support. You want to back up, because it could be your kid and tomorrow that needs our assistance or this program to succeed, to go to college and get his education. Mm-hmm. Because I believe in education.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a stud, you want to have that diploma, and that's the proudest moment a parent can have when they see you walk the stage.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, baseball is great, but I'm going to leave this note that I tell my kids and my top friends. Baseball is a little kid's game that big boys play.
Absolutely.
On that note,
have a good night. Take care.
We might have one more interview perhaps before we leave. Let's see if we can get George or somebody up here.
We'll let Roberto have the rest of the night off. Make sure you guys follow us.
Follow us tomorrow. Game time.
You're going to see the games. I think you guys are broadcasting them on
the 1 o'clock game.
1 o'clock game.
Yeah.
Where at?
Ponce.
No, but what you did, where can they see these games? I think there was
I think it's on YouTube. It's a link.
YouTube.
We'll find the link and we'll put it out. We'll blast you guys. We'll let you know on Twitter, X, and everything. So you guys can
be there. Come out.
Bingo.
See you in a little while.
Have a good night.
So as Roberto leaves, I'll go around. I'll start shouting out everybody who was in the chat. Carlos Ortiz says, born in Ponce, grew up in the South Bronx, live in Florida. Carlos Ortiz, my brother. I hope all is well. Saludo, mi hermano, saludo. I hope all is good. All right, who else we got in the building, guys? How are you doing? Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's. Riley Productions is live on Instagram. Shout out to my guy, Hit Squad 005. Anthony Rivera, my brother, the Ace Avenue is in the building. Jill, the other Jill, how are you? Long time no see, my friend. I hope all is well with you. Folks in the chat, how you doing? Let me know where you guys are checking in from. I think we got one more interview to do before we get ready to wrap things up. I think we're looking for George Medina, the founder of the PR Challenge out here in Ponce. But folks in the chat, have you guys ever been to Puerto Rico? Have any of you guys been to La Isla de Encanto, as they say? Give me one more. Julio, where's George? No see George? Whoever. We get one more. Let's do one more. See you at the stadium, brother. Hold on, guys. We're going to just do one more. Yeah. William. Yeah. Flower.
Hey, where is this going to be on?
This is on YouTube. Yeah, we're live on YouTube right now. Yeah.
I should have put a different.
No, that's not Capelli's. That's not William. That's somebody else. Yeah. Mucho, Steven. Venga. All good, brother. All good. This is going to be our last interview of the night before we get ready to wrap things up because we have an early day tomorrow and there's a casino that I'm trying to go play. I'm trying to go play this side. Okay. ¿Cómo está mi hermano? How's everything going? How are you feeling?
Tranquilo.
All right. For the people in the chat that don't know who you are, Steven, let them know. First, last day, what are you here? What are you doing? And what's your favorite day of the week?
Como salsero, lo que hay. Mi nombre es Steven Arroyo. I am a sponsorship manager and operations manager at Joju Sports. That's my day in the corporate part. And then I also coach and train pitchers. So that's kind of my specialty.
How did you get linked up with George in this event here in Puerto Rico?
It's a great question. Very blessed to have gone to Fordham Prep and be part of that Fordham Prep network. Go Rams. That being said, met George through coaching. He was coaching on the younger side, like freshman and JV. I was at varsity there. We're both alumni, so we're men for others.
Okay.
So being part of a mission, and then once I heard about this, no way I couldn't be involved.
You guys got a strong alumni for it, right?
We do. We take a lot of pride in that as a Jesuit education. It is a great pathway for life, but also being baseball players, it kind of is how we continue to look out for each other in different avenues. So being Puerto Riqueño, being Fordham guys, you hear about missions like this and what we're doing. How can you not want to be a part of it?
Puerto Riqueño de dónde? Where you from? Where your family from?
Yo soy el neoyorquino de la familia, pero.
Yo, we're on the other side of the charco. There's no such thing of, boricuas de aquí y de allá. We're all boricuas, okay?
Sí, todos tenemos sazón.
Exacto.
Pero mi familia de Agua Buena.
Agua Buena.
Nice.
Okay, and now you've been here. What we've been doing here, recovering, because of the fact that we need a lot of people to know what's happening in Puerto Rico, what's happening in Ponce. This whole thing of bringing Division I schools to play in Puerto Rico. What's your overall take on this?
Es una bendición, en el sentido que mucha gente no entiende el poder que Puerto Rico tiene y el talento que tenemos aquí. Y además,
people don't understand the potential that we have in Puerto Rico. This is what he's talking about, man.
And our talent that we have here as well, right? They look at us as if we're a third world country, as if we're not part of the United States, or that fact that we have student athletes that are educated in English, can stand for themselves, and have a lot to offer this world. So, particularly serving this mission is self-fulfilling, right? I played college baseball, went to higher levels, and I love being able to work with athletes that need that little bit of inspiration to push past doubt, whether they doubt that this is possible because no one in their family has gone to school before or reached those levels, or their community isn't supportive because ¿quién va a salir de la isla? ¿Quién va a salir de la comunidad? Ay, eso no va a pasar, lo negativo. So whether it's imposter syndrome or just self-doubt, being able to open up these spaces and support, our community members. Today the process event wasn't even just about baseball. It was about student athletes. We could have volleyball players, swimmers, track, all of these Puerto Rican athletes who are capable and eligible for the NCAA, but they're just not familiar with the process, whether it be clearinghouse, college admissions, prerequisites, you name it. This is all public information and stuff that's accessible, but without the support, without opportunities to practice, to have encouragement from your community, it's a difficult thing to kind of just fall into on your own.
Now you had that today. It's a very good process. There wasn't that many young people there today. A lot of it had to do with the inclement weather. There was bad weather coming in from the north, and there was also bad weather in the south from Patillas. So the fact is, there wasn't enough students again. How you getting that information out? So important for young people to know what's the process, how they can learn. Because there's a lot of Clementes out there probably, and a lot of Roberto Romars out there that probably don't have the opportunity.
El próximo Molina, el próximo Berríos, el próximo Vázquez.
Están en los barrios, pero se quedan después de escuela superior, se desquitan.
Pues al fin del día, I look at it in the sense of knowledge is power. And you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
So even those, students that weren't able to make it today for whatever various reasons, this is something that we're still going to have posted on our YouTube channel.
Good.
We're going to have the documentation as far as the PDF and
Tell
the
them what's the
presenters.
YouTube channel.
Oof, that's a great question. I believe it's Joe G Sports,
Okay.
Puerto Rico.
We'll find it, and at the end of this video, I'll put it in the description so you guys can have a clickable link that'll take you right to you
And
guys.
the good thing is you always have Latino sports, and Latino sports always is the mecca of information you want to get on Latinos in sports anywhere. So you also got that as a backup.
If you can, speak to it, because since I've been here, I've been able to cover, as a member of sports media, several baseball academies and baseball camps just in time with Oswaldo Cabrera, the Palacios brothers. But being here, I've seen that you guys have emphasized preparing the student athlete for life after baseball.
Yes.
Because when you look at the statistic, I have it right here, it's a 0.062% chance that a high school athlete makes the major league. You have a higher chance of becoming an astronaut. So how is those tough, difficult conversations with young athletes?
That's a great question. Personally, the way I approach it is with almost brutal honesty. And trying to frame it in the sense of that these are life skills and these are skills that you're going to take beyond the sport, right? Baseball is something that it's a team sport when it's in season. It's an individual sport when you're in the off season, you're doing your training and you're getting ready. But every day you're learning life skills, whether it's understanding how to put things into perspective. You have a bad day, you need to flush it, get back to work tomorrow, or from a pitching standpoint, you think you're the best thing ever because you had a great outing, you weren't touched. The game will humble you in one way or another. So there are always opportunities for us to have these life lessons. Y al fin del día, they're not going to take away our education. If you get hurt, if something happens to you, that's another, motivating factor for me personally, because I know as a young student athlete, I was someone that was very difficult to stay focused or to stay motivated without that carrot of being able to play baseball and to have an opportunity of a future or the potential to go play in La AA, in La Intervernal, or in minor leagues. Without those kinds of goals and opportunities in front of me, I don't know if I would have made the sacrifice or if I would have had the discipline to stay on the right path and not have that North Star.
That's beautiful.
On the good side, on the bad side, on the positive side, on the negative side, what are the two things today that you've seen first day back in 2026 right now? Second year, what's the highlight and what's something that you could improve? Whether it's coming from not getting enough support from the Puerto Rico government, not getting enough support from Department of Education, not getting enough support from sponsors, not getting some of the schools. From your perspective.
Well, let's start with the good. I think you look at today's process event, even though we might not have had the same attendance that we had last year, the content that was shared is certainly something that's improved, given the changing landscape, whether it be NIL, shortened rosters, helping educate, the youth about these opportunities, I think is a great improvement on our behalf. Also looking at the reach when it comes to the kind of partnerships, whether we have with Latino sports and other influencers. The word is getting out there. Puerto Rico baseball is back. This is high-level ball, and we have high-level ball players that are available, for these schools and other opportunities in the future. As far as room for improvement and things that we can do better, I would love if we had more access and more support here in the island, in the sense that, contingency planning to maybe go to Carolina or to go to other places would give us a little bit more liberty than just being in Ponce tomorrow. But thankfully, we have good partners and incredible staff. Robert and his team, Ibelis Peña and everything else on operations do a miraculous job of overcoming whatever adversity or foreseen hiccups. Mira, mejor tener suerte de estar perdido, pero por lo menos echamos adelante. And I would also say I would love to see us have more support from the communities as far as understanding how this is mutually beneficial, right? If you have children, whether it's women's volleyball, soccer, baseball, basketball, lo que sea, once we start getting more momentum in these communities that are kind of overlooked, because you might see Peñuelas, Puerto Rico on an application, or Guayama or Hormigueros, lo que sea, once we start getting more of these people into opportunities, it opens the door for everybody else behind them. I'm someone that is incredibly proud of my, my culture, my heritage, my sport. And I can foresee that everybody that we are working with now is only going to amplify that and bring more people into these opportunities moving forward.
On that note, possibly ending up this conversation, recently, Super Bowl game, halftime show, Bad Bunny. Where's the hat? A lot of you guys are wearing here today. We just interviewed the athletic director from Manhattan College. She comes here with the Bad Bunny hat. I call it the Bad Bunny hat, but it's la hoja del jíbaro.
Sí, sí, sí.
He has done
Lo único
something.
que le falta el pitorro.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So, pitojo de coco. There's something has been like happening in atmosphere, energy that's been developing right after this whole thing with Bad Bunny being reckoned at Puerto Rico.
Sí, claro.
Like you mentioned earlier, the people probably didn't know a lot of things about Puerto Rico, but now after the halftime show in the Super Bowl,
Right.
With all the criticism he's gotten, all it's done is just open up more information and more people more interested.
Claro, the spotlight is certainly on Puerto
So this
Rico,
helps this process as well, right?
Puerto Rican culture, and I absolutely think, hey, God works in mysterious ways, right? For us to be in the crosswinds where all of this kind of support for Puerto Rico and just natural curiosity for Puerto Rico.
And I spoke to coaches that have never been here before.
Right.
Coming for the first time.
Right. And I guarantee you they're having a better experience than maybe going to some other places that they've been to before. Seeing this culture, being able to go to Ponce Plaza, being able to go and, agarrar, whether it's a pastelillo, empanada, it's a whole nother, vuelta que tenemos ahí.
So ustedes están envueltos en la área de turismo en Puerto Rico. Tourism in Puerto Rico, discovered sports in Puerto Rico, recreación y deporte. Pay attention to what's happening here.
Absolutely.
Because this is a great potential, but you guys need to give a little bit more attention, more support, because a lot of people that came here, this is the first time they come to Puerto Rico. So if you take advantage of these people and expose them to more of our culture, they might come back, not just for a tournament, they might come back just to vacation.
Pero piensa, how many people come to Puerto Rico for the first time and they're in Ponce? I mean, most of the experiences that I ever hear of someone coming, well, you came on a cruise, está por San Juan. If you just came on a flight for a long weekend, maybe you go to Condado, Isla Verde, you might stretch out to Luquillo, or you're not going as far as Manatí, right? Rincón or lo que sea. Pero I just think it's a beautiful thing that we can do something like this, not only to bring attention to Puerto Rico, to bring attention to Ponce,
to the south, right, an area that doesn't really get that much publicity. So I want to thank you guys. You guys are doing a hell of a job in Latino sports. Is here to support, so you guys know that.
Sí,
whatever
claro.
you guys need, how we can collaborate and help.
Hermano, ya sabes.
Roberto said, Rome wasn't built in a day. So a message to the kids that couldn't be here today to get all that information, or just this weekend to soak that in. Real message real quick, just to let them know how you feel.
Vamos a seguir. There's things that are out of our control, pero como las olas van a romper, van a seguir dando vuelta. This is something that is building a lot of momentum. And I think because the mission is so easy to get behind and support, although things, could have gone smoother, or maybe we could have more of the things that we want.
We don't have our banner here. It's in the stadium because it went to the wrong place.
Tranquilo.
So
A veces eso pasa.
we're still doing it. Look,
They throw a curveball, we're able to figure it out. I may not hit a home run or hit a single, I'm going to strike out, but hey,
we can at least hit the ball.
Yeah, Steven, mi hermano, gracias. Thank you so much.
Un
And
placer.
again, we're here to support you, brother.
A la orden, cuídese.
Everybody that's in the building, appreciate you guys. Julio, sit down real quick because we're gonna wrap it up. That's
Absolutely.
That's the last one today, right? That's the last interview for right now. We're gonna have plenty other interviews.
But this is exciting,
throughout
bro.
This entire weekend, we've been on for an hour, Julio. Mira para allá.
But
Look
this
at
is
that shit.
exciting, bro. I mean, the stuff that we've learned. The first athletic director female who's a
I
Boricua
know.
in the United States.
Representation. If this past week did not show you guys that representation mattered, let this conversation from today show that representation, it matters. Before I linked up with Julio and Latino Sports, you guys know my story. You guys know, where Uptown Sports TV was before it is right now. I had opportunities to go work with other people that I didn't align with them. Everything that has transpired over the past year and a half, 2 years, being with Latino Sports, everything that I've done with working with Julio Pavon, this is where I want to be.
Everything happens for a reason.
And everything happens for a reason.
How we met, on a bus trip to Cooperstown. Nobody introduced us.
No.
He just called wanted a ticket, and we happen to have some seats available because we always take a trip. By the way, whenever a Latino is inducted, like now, Carlos Beltran, there will be buses from the South Bronx going to the Baseball Hall of Fame, Cooperstown, in July. So remember that now. That's how we met. The young man calls up. He says, I heard you got some tickets and available. And I said, yeah, I think the day before. And he said, well, how do I pay? I said, well, you can pay tomorrow because sometimes they say they're coming, they never come because we leave at 6 in the morning. Some people say they come, they don't come. But he showed up. Santurce jersey, Puerto Rico hat. I said, oh, este uno de los míos.
Absolutely.
And it was almost a 4-hour drive going up to Cooperstown. So 4 hours up, 4 hours down. We got to know and meet each other. And by the end of the trip, he definitely was open to be part of Latino sports. And he says, so, and we doing something together? And I said, yeah. I tapped him on the two sides of his shoulder, said, you're in.
Yeah. Because I was initially I was going to send an email to Julio that I had somebody that I used to work with help me craft an email, and it didn't feel right for me to send something that somebody else read.
Right.
I felt like if I'm going to introduce myself to Julio has to see the authentic version of me, not what somebody else written down for an email that doesn't represent me. So me and Julio, and shout out also to my good friend Julian Gelarte, who works with Latino Sports.
That's right. He was on the bus.
Julian was on the bus, and immediately, because you guys know the work I've done with Julian, started talking baseball. Julio's listening, like, oh, this guy Hector knows what he's talking about in baseball.
You guys know each other?
Yeah, he's like, you guys know each other. Like, yeah, I worked with him, and I made some content for Julio, and like that, I've been with Latino Sports. And
social media director. Also, content creator, journalist. I just started writing articles as well for Latino Sports. He's developing growth. Any guys out there, wherever you're at, especially outside of New York, if you have any interest in trying to get experience with writing, with video, with commenting, Latino Sports is a growing development of an idea that we developed. And it's growing. So if you're out there and people in other states, because we're definitely heavily already in New York and New Jersey, but we're looking in other areas. Hey, we're looking for unpaid interns who want to be able to learn this stuff, because where we believe we're onto something. Yeah. And Bad Bunny has opened up a wave that we're hoping to ride.
Absolutely. And until next time, guys, you know me. I'm your guy, Hector Beauchamp. This is Julio Pavon, Latino Sports. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And until next time,
visit the site, latinosports.com.
Hasta luego, arriba the dirty, and drink some water.
God bless.
Bye.